stats are there. More and more Americans choosing not to have kids, which again emphasizes why JD Vance's comments about childless Americans, childless cat ladies, could be so politically damaging.
Well, so what's interesting is this natalism that comes from an authoritarian playbook, right? That there need to be more white children, right? That's the idea that there's, this is about great replacement theory, racism, right? This is what this is. So don't misunderstand it for him wanting more children. He wants a certain kind of, racist thing.
look at the full context of what I said, it's very clear the Democrats have tried to take this thing out of context and blow it out of proportion, which is what they always do, Trey, because they don't have an agenda to run on themselves. And if you look at what the American people are most concerned about, Trey, it's not an out-of-context quip that I made 3 years ago. It's the fact that Kamala Harris, the border czar, opened the American southern border. It's the fact that the Democratic Party has become explicitly anti-family in some of their policies.
Get to the other vice presidential running candidate, that is Trump's running mate JD Vance, and he's still paying a high price for these comments 3 years ago.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
Now, Kristen, we all know the point he's trying to make. I think using the term childless cat ladies is pretty, it's pretty provocative, and I don't think it'll do him a lot of good with female voters, especially if they don't have children. But he doesn't seem to be keen to back down or apologise for these remarks.
He shouldn't apologise because his point is valid, which is that if you don't have children, you don't necessarily have as much invested in the future of the country as those who do have children. And that's not to say that politicians who don't have children don't care about the future of the country, but just that you perhaps are more invested in the future if you do. This is all a misdirect, though. This is an attempt by the media to get the attention of voters onto JD Vance and off of Kamala Harris and off of Donald Trump. The media needs you to believe that Kamala Harris is who she is projecting herself to be right now, which is this fierce woman who is going to be a moderate and bring Americans together, and not the truth, which is that she was the most radical senator in this country in 2019, even more radical than Bernie Sanders, the most liberal, and that she's opened the border up under Joe Biden's administration to 7 to 10 million illegal immigrants. And by the way, Chris, I also want to point out it's laughable for the left to try to call Republicans anti-women when the Democrats are the ones trying to force men into women's locker rooms with little girls, put men into women's prisons. They won't even tell you what the difference is between a man and a woman. It's disgusting and laughable that they would try to push this narrative onto Republicans, given the ideology that they've been promoting for years now.
Yeah, perhaps if women can have women's sporting events to themselves, not allowing transgender women or biological men to compete against them, that would be a good starting point when it comes to protecting the rights of women. You're spot on there again, as ever, Kristen. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Chris.